The phrase, love can transcend space and time, perfectly applies to Kimi no Nawa, or better known as Your Name. Kimi no Nawa is a series I have heard talked about constantly since last year when it first came out in Japan. I have been recommended this movie so many times. It's probably one of the most recommended movies I have ever had. I've seen this movie gain so much news coverage. I've seen to where it has broken so many records, it has gained so much popularity, and has a big fan base now, and it's just something I've heard so many talking about. It's constantly being brought up. Even though it came out last year, it is a movie that is still brought up to this day. It is still coming out and all that. Everybody is just happy about this movie series. It's pretty much unanimous that everybody basically enjoys the movie. And so because of all the hype centered around Kimi no Nawa, aka Your Name, I was kind of interested in the movie and I wanted to see it for myself. Luckily enough, I managed to actually stay spoiler free, which makes me very happy. Even though I heard some very good things about the movie, like it has great animation, a good story, it's made by Makoto Shinkai, and I heard that it's one of the best films since like maybe Spirited Away, I did not have the plot spoiled for me, which I was very happy about, and I'm very thankful for all of you Chibits that recommended me to watch this movie. You did not spoil me and let me know like the end result of the movie. I'm very happy about that. So with that being said, I went into watching this movie completely spoiler free, really not knowing what to expect at all. All I know about when it came to me starting this movie was that it had beautiful animation and I should expect some fills. That's basically all I expected from the movie when I finally got down to, sitting down and watching it. And this movie, I have heard praised so much. I was excited. I was super excited, and I had some very high expectations for this movie just because of so much I have seen on this movie. So many news articles on it, all over the anime community, and, you Chibits as well. I had high expectations that this was going to be a very good movie. But on top of that, I was scared. And the reason why is because of how popular this movie was. I was scared for two reasons. Number one, I was scared because I thought it wasn't going to meet my expectations. But number two, I thought that I was going to get too attached to the movie. Because when I watch anime, I don't know how many of you out there are like me, but when I sit down, I watch anime, I can really get attached to, a cast of characters, and I can cry like a little baby. I'm not even joking. I have cried many times watching movies, or, watching anime, or reading manga. I can cry, and I cry quite a bit when it comes to certain emotional scenes, and so I was kind of scared, not just because I thought it wasn't going to meet my expectations, but I was scared that this series was going to really make me feel a lot. And so I finally got around to sitting down and watching it. I'm going to be honest with you, I cried about twice while watching this movie for two reasons. Of the plot twist at first, but then the ending result towards the end, I thought everything was, all was lost. I was like, oh my god, why? But I had a lot of feels watching this movie, and that really hit me, and I remember just, actually sitting there and being like, holy crap, this is just so much, and the movie continued on and all that. I'm like, it's painful seeing some of these scenes because it makes you feel so bad, but I'm glad with the end result of the movie. I'm glad that, true love was found and these characters got together. This movie has been compared to other anime classic movies like Howl's Moving Castle, to Spirited Away, Grave of the Fireflies, and all these other type of anime movies. It's been compared a lot in terms of sales, but popularity, and how good it is, and so I was kind of curious to see how good this movie was, because my personal favorite anime film is Spirited Away, and I was kind of curious to see if this movie, Your Name, since it's done so well already, would beat my love of Spirited Away. And a lot of my love for Spirited Away is because it was one of my first, anime films I watched, but also it was just so different. And to this day, it still holds up in terms of art and animation. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. So because of all these comparisons, or how, Your Name is comparable to these movies, I was very interested and inclined to finally, watch this. And so when I did watch it, and I, started this, actual movie, I was surprised by the actual genres of the movie, and also the body swapping. That threw me off. I did not know this movie would have body swapping. I want to let you guys in on something, okay? Body swapping is personally one of my favorite, it's one of my favorites when it comes to, certain genres or subgenres. I love body swapping, if it's used properly and it's done right. A lot of times, anime and manga don't do it right. They usually just use it for very obvious cliches, and it doesn't go anywhere, and it's just you have so much potential here, but you don't use it. However, Your Name doesn't fall into that category of the stereotypical body swapping anime or manga. It manages to tread a fine line of being completely different and being acceptable, and I was very actually happy with the result of that actual theme with the body swapping, and the twist to the body swapping was even better. It's something I did not even see coming, and I've seen a lot of movies, I've read a lot of manga, I've seen a lot of body swapping anime and manga, and I was just surprised with the twist with the body swapping. That caught me by surprise, and I just say kudos to Makoto Shinkai for that twist, the plot twist in the middle of the movie. I did not see that coming. I expected feels, but I did not see that plot twist coming. That truly caught me by surprise. I didn't see it coming. You can say whatever you want. There's no way you're going to tell me you expected that result with that body swapping. You're just not going to tell me you saw that coming unless you already saw the movie or it was spoiled for you, because there's just no way. It was that good of a plot twist. But on top of that, though, the chemistry between Taki and Mitsuha, it was perfect. Perfect chemistry, but it wasn't just these two characters, our two main characters, our main male and female character. The entire supporting cast was absolutely brilliant. I honestly have really nothing to complain about when it comes to the cast. I mean, there's some flaws here and there, but overall, the whole purpose of some of the characters in the cast and all that, they serve their purpose, and it really fit with what the actual series was about, or the movie was about, and I was proud that the series didn't fall into that, problem to where there's so many characters that sometimes, it just bloats the cast up, and you don't really care at all what's going on. But honestly, I sat down and I really cared about all of these characters that was in the movie, and I especially love the chemistry between all of them. There's some really good moments throughout the movie with some good comedy moments, especially when Taki's in Mitsuha's body, and then you see it to where he's acting all masculine and all that. He's just acting like someone that will just beat your face in, and I just love the exchange with the characters and the way they interact with Taki inside of Mitsuha's body, or how Taki inside of Mitsuha's body, he grabs her freaking breast and he's just playing with him, and he's like, okay, one more, he's like, I won't do this. Out of respect for her, I won't do this. But then the next scene, the sister comes in, and he's doing it still, and I'm like, oh my god. It's so good. These scenes, some of these comedy scenes, they're very funny, and they really got me, and I was just appreciating and enjoying the movie, and I love especially the exchange between Mitsuha and Taki when they're, exchanging little notes and stuff and diary entries. Mitsuha was like, the reason why I'm eating so much food and spending money is because I'm having to work too. I'm basically in your body working too, and I was just laughing at that scene, how she was making a very logical example why she was spending his money. It's because when she wasn't in his body, she was working so she could use that money to buy herself some food, and I'm like, oh my god, some of the exchanges between these two characters was just so cute, adorable, and I really appreciated what I saw. So, in terms of chemistry with the characters, they definitely They were good. They were spot on. I was enjoying the characters. I loved the way they interact with each other, but also props to the voice actors on how they were able to change their voice when they were swapping bodies. How, Mitsuha, how her voice kind of changed, the voice actor changed when Taki was in her body, or when Taki's voice changed when Mitsuha was in his body. The voice actors definitely deserve some praise for the quality voice acting they did in this movie. And it's not just the main characters, but also the supporting cast as well did a very excellent job with conveying their emotions in lines throughout, me watching this movie. So, besides all of that, though, let's just talk about the plot twist. So, the plot twist, which caught me by surprise, is that the body swapping wasn't your average body swapping. The body swapping was happening from present day in the past. 3-year gap between the body swapping. What I'm getting at is Taki, he was in present time, while Mitsuha, she was 3 years in the past, and they were swapping bodies back and forth, and they were unaware of what was going on. And the reason why the plot twist was so amazing is because Mitsuha, she dies, thanks to a comet splitting. And so when the comet finally hits in Mitsuha's timeline, she dies, and obviously the body swapping stops. Taki no longer goes into her body, which causes the entire conflict for the second half of the movie, to where he's trying to figure out a way to save her, or, bring her back, or make sure she's alive, or find her. And I love the message of that, and I love the theme of trying to find your true love, and no matter what, you can meet that special, significant other, and that's kind of the point of the movie. And seeing him struggle so hard of how he was trying to remember, how he's trying to remember everything, how he constantly kept forgetting, he's trying to remember her name, but also he tried to remember the location, he didn't even know the town's location or anything, and eventually when he discovered that truth, that the town was destroyed completely, and Mitsuha died, your feels just got, you got all them feels just right in your chest. You're like, oh my god, she died, she's dead, and you're like, that really sucks, that really sucks, she's dead. And as the movie continues on, it likes to play with your emotions. It likes to show, maybe she's not going to be able to be saved, or she's going to be saved but then die or whatever. You don't really know. And the movie's constantly, flipping back and forth, and you're like, what do I expect? Is she going to die, or is she not going to die? And I felt like the movie did a very good job with keeping you in the dark when it came to that, because normally when you're actually watching these type of movies, you can usually assume that everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay, nothing bad's gonna happen, it's gonna be a good ending, it's gonna be that happily ever after conclusion. But because of Makoto Shinkai's record and what type of movies he normally writes, you could assume that it possibly could have, a very tragic conclusion. And I was very scared when I was watching the movie. I'm like, holy crap, I've seen the previous works of Makoto Shinkai. I'm kind of scared that he's going down a similar route, and he's gonna have it to where, Mitsuha's permanently dead. And I'm like, no, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't play with my feels. That really hurts me. That really does. I was getting into it. I was crying and all that. And I'm like, no, don't do this to me. And finally, at that final part of the episode, when they meet up, and they ask for each other's name, that title drop, and then roll credits, I'm like, now I see. Now I see. Now I see why so many love this movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this movie a lot, but it does have some problems, and nothing's perfect in this world. Everything has problems. Even the best things out there have problems, and the same can be said for Your Name, Kimi no Nawa. The obvious problems are the way the body swapping isn't explained, or the magic in this series, but despite those obvious flaws, I don't feel like they're really that bad. Now, hear me out, okay? Normally, when I'm watching an anime, or any form of, live action show or whatever, or reading manga, something like that would really bug me. It would truly bug me to the point to where I'd be like, I don't like this. But Kimi no Nawa doesn't do that. It doesn't bug me with its conclusion, because that wasn't the point of the movie. The point of the movie was to show true love. How you could always find your true love because it's destined to be. And I like the theme with the strings, the threads of fate. I love that. I love how they were tied together by destiny and fate, and how they eventually would find each other once again. And even though they forgot each other, even though he saved her, and they both forgot each other's names, they forgot everything they did in the past to save her, Mitsuha, overall, they still found each other in the future, and they told each other their names, and then the movie concluded. And it was a perfect message. It was a very clear and perfect message to convey to the watchers of the movie. This wasn't a movie that was going to answer every single question in terms of the magic to the body swapping and stuff like that. The point of the movie was to show true love, and how you will eventually find the one you love, because it's destined to be. And it was a very brilliant way to display that fact, especially while watching the movie, and I really appreciate that. And I'm like, normally stuff like this would bug me, but it doesn't. And I feel like that's what makes this movie so good. Makoto Shinkai managed to make a movie tread a very clear destination slash line for this movie. And what I'm getting at is that throughout the movie, I was worried. I was very, very worried that the movie was going to not meet my expectations, or it was going to fall to cliches, be very cliche or predictable. But throughout the entirety of the movie, it constantly kept throwing me on my ass, and I had no idea what to really expect. I had no idea what might happen next. Will she stay dead, or will she come back, or is she gonna die? You don't really know. And I feel like that's what really makes the magic of this movie. What makes it so brilliant is because the way it was written, and the way the characters were done, and also the track record of the director, which makes it such a brilliant watch. So, yeah, I'm glad I watched this movie. I'm really glad I finally sat down and watched it. And I feel like, despite the flaws, I see why it's selling like hotcakes in Japan, and why it's selling in other countries as well. I understand now. It makes perfect sense because the way the movie was done and written. I see why now. I completely understand why. Now, besides all that, in terms of art and animation, which it needs to be talked about, it's so beautiful. Oh my god, like, the art and animation, obviously, it's better than regular TV anime, because movies have a better budget, and bigger budget, and on top of that, there's more time to work on movies, and put more effort into it, but oh my god, even for movie standards, Kimi no Nawa looks breathtaking. It looks so beautiful. And I dare say that this movie is comparable up there in terms of animation art with some of the stuff Miyazaki does. I'm not even joking. And I mean, it depends on your taste of art, but overall, I think it's comparable just because of how good it looks and all that. And the way the camera panning and all that is, it looks absolutely marvelous. And just good job, very good job on the entire staff that worked on Your Name. It's definitely a type of movie I can see why it's so popular. Normally, when I see people talking about stuff and all that, and they say, it's good, I don't think it might be as good as they let on, but I feel like everything that was said about this movie, it's definitely spot on, hit the nail right on the head with, the way this, movie was done. So, besides that, all of that, okay, I gotta say that I'm glad this movie is becoming popular, because for one, it's such a different take on the way these genres are normally done, especially in anime, manga, and movies, that I'm glad that Makoto Shinkai sat down and did this. I'm really glad he worked on this movie. I'm really glad it gained popularity, because that would mean that we could have more quality movies in the future from him, and this is definitely a good spot on his career. Like, his entire career, this is definitely a good badge to have because of how good it's doing. So, yeah. Is it better than Spirited Away, though? That is the question, because, see, that's my personal favorite movie. That is my favorite. Now, obviously, everybody has their own personal favorite, and, I mean, there's flaws and everything. Even Spirited Away has its own problems, but do I like Your Name more than Spirited Away? To be completely blunt, I really don't know. I really don't know where I put Your Name at. It's definitely a top quality film. I would definitely say it's in my top 3. Top 5. Top 3, top 5 favorite, anime films I have seen. I don't know necessarily if it beats Spirited Away, in my opinion, but it's definitely a quality film that deserves all the praise it has gotten. And, yeah. I mean, I know some might feel that it's overrated, some might feel that it doesn't deserve all the praise it's getting, but at the end of the day, these little flaws that's in the movie, they're not as bad as you think. I feel like people that are looking at the flaws are not really getting the true message of the movie, that are saying it's overrated or bad, because the message of the movie is true love. It's not about the magic or the body swapping. It's about seeing these two characters meet, and even though they didn't remember each other, they were able to find each other once again, and then ask for each other's name. So, yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad to watch the movie. Thank you for everyone that recommended me to watch this movie. I know I would have eventually have watched this without you guys recommending me it, just because of all the news coverage on the movie. It's absolutely insane. But I still want to thank all of the Chibits, everyone that recommended me to watch this movie. And if you haven't seen this movie, I recommend you find a theater near you if you're in the States. Try to find, a showing for this movie. It's a brilliant movie, and it's definitely a must-watch movie. It is one of those movies that is a must-watch. You need to see it for yourself. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you've already seen the movie, how do you feel about Kimi no Nawa? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? And if there's other flaws I don't see with the movie, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have other reasons or, I guess, themes behind this series that I wasn't even aware of either, please also let me know in the comments below. But I see now why it's so popular, and damn, I cried. So with that, I think I want to end this video here. Thank you guys, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you for all those that leave a like on this video and all that. I truly appreciate it, and it makes me happy to see that. So you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.